Hello student, my name is Rose Provine and today I am going to discuss the new chapter. This is the condenser chapter. Okay, this is the part of the syllabus equipment selection. Okay, in this this is included in this chapter equipment selection. Before going to this chapter, this is my sixth video, and I am telling about that. Before this chapter, the chapter refrigerant is over, but I will discuss about refrigerant chapter is later in this video because it is very important part of this. Those are very important part about your syllabus regarding your exam. Okay, so let's start. Okay, first of all, what is condenser? Condenser is a device which rejects heat of the liquid that is refrigerant and does not change the temperature, only rejects heat at constant temperature is called condenser. In our syllabus, we have to study the classification of condenser. According to the condensing medium, we have three types of condenser are there. First of all, air-cooled condenser. Second one, water-cooled condenser, and third one, evaporative condenser. Okay, I will discuss later briefly the air-cooled, water-cooled, and evaporative condenser because this is in your syllabus. Okay. The next one is according to the contact between the condensate and condensing medium. First of all, according to this, we have jet condenser and mixing jet condenser. You can see this is the picture of the jet condenser and mixed jet condenser. Okay, here you can see the this is the exhaust steam over here. The steam is entered. Okay, this is the cooling water goes to this area, the pipe, and it enters into the rotor trace and condensed shell, and the mixture is finally enters in the hot oil, and the hot water is through the heat from the hot water from the hot oil goes to the boiler. From this condenser shell, exhaust steam and the cooling water get mixed, and the temperature will increase the cooling tower, and the steam of the temperature of steam will reduce. This is the main function of this condenser. And next one is surface condenser. This is one kind of shell type condenser. You can see this is cylinder condenser. Here the cooling water outlet. This is the cooling water inlet. The cooling water enters over here. Okay. Then it's close to the pipes. The pipes, and first of all it is entered over here and close to this chamber, and finally enters to the area. From this area, when it's passing through the outlet, this is the exit point. The exhaust steam from the turbine, which enters from this shell, and it is the passing over the tubes, and finally exit to this point. This is the exit chamber for the steam. When it is flow over the tubes, the heat exchange takes place. So the water, some the cooling water get increase the temperature, and the exhaust steam get condensed. Okay, this is the main function of this surface condenser. The special features of the surface condenser is that the two types of fluids and the steams don't get any mix. Okay, this is the non-mixing type condenser. And according to the condensing medium flow, this is the natural convection condenser and post convection type condenser. Natural convection condenser is a condenser in which have the convection is natural. No natural. Suppose in refrigerator, you can see the back portion there is a net type something attached. This is the condenser where the heat rejects automatically. This is a natural convection. The post convection is the convective condenser where a fan is attached for cooling the condenser. This is called post condenser. This is actually post convection condenser used in the industry, not in domestic purpose. Okay, this is a post condenser used only for industries. And natural convection condenser used only in industries and or domestic refrigerator also. Okay, come to the main point. How does the air-cooled condenser work? The air-cooled condenser is a direct cooling system where the steam is condensed inside the air-cooled fin tubes. The cool ambient air flow outside the fin tubes what remove the heat and define the function of air-cooling condenser. See the diagram. This is a diagram of air-cooling condenser. Okay, you can see the picture. Here, the liquid or the water flows from the pipe and it spread throughout these small pipes which is attached below the large pipe, and a fan installed below these small pipes. When the water circulated from this pipe, the fan rotates. Due to rotational, the air flows on the small pipes and it exchanges heat with the water of the small pipes and air. So it gets cool due to the convection process. Okay, this is a total convection process. Okay, and second one, how does a water-cooled condenser work? Water-cooled condenser, the water used as coolant. When the liquid passes through the tube gets covered by the shell. You can see the picture over here. This type of condenser. Okay, this is the shell side. This is the tube side. You will also see the surface condenser picture in previous. Where the water in, this is the water of fluid in, this is the fluid out. When the cold fluid enters this side and this side refrigerant or coolant enters, it exchanges heat by the convection process inside the shell, and the fluids exchange heat with the refrigerant inside the shell, inside the portion. This is the diagram. This is the main picture actually in this application. You see this kind of images. Okay, the condenser. Okay, and next one, comparison of air-cooled and water-cooled condenser. Okay, the main difference. Air-cooled, its diapers it is good. Air-cooled condenser, first of all, air-cooled condenser, no water or no coolant is used, so the air flows over the pipes of the liquid, so liquid can exchange the heat with the air. When only the air is cool, the liquid can exchange the heat with the air. Water-cooled condenser, when only used when the water is available. In this area where the water is available to exchange the heat, suppose the river water only available, then the water-cooled condenser used. Here no need to flow the air, whether it is hotter or it is cold air, it does not matter. If the water is not available, the water-cooled condenser does not work. because only water cool condenser is only used only the water. Okay, the water condenser minimum cost is less because no water gets flow for this condenser, and so the maintenance cost is less. But the water condenser, the water flows on the tube which to be cooled, so the due to the water, the corrosion, erosion, or the some algae may be found on the pipes where the liquid flows. So maintenance cost for this condenser is more. Air condenser is more noise because due to the flows air, if the air does not flow in the environment, we have to use a fan, external fan for flow the air. So the noise is more due to the fan. And water condenser, no fans are used, only water flows on the shell or the tubes of the liquid, so the noise will be less. The efficiency air condenser is less because when the air flows, the exchange heat to the tube and the air is not so high because the heat convection of the air liquid to air is less. So efficiency of the air cooled condenser is less. The efficiency of water cooled condenser is more because the exchange of heat, the fluid inside the tube and the water is very fast compared to the air. So the efficiency of the water cooled condenser is greater than the air cooled condenser. And next one, this is the evaporator condenser. You see this diagram. Here the air and water vapor to the atmosphere. Okay, and the air is passing through the air is enters from the bottom of the condenser, and the cooling water enters to the header from a pump. When you spray through the nozzle, it's sprayed over the thin tubes, and when air mixed to the cold water, then the thin tube get exchange the heat with the water and air. The eliminator eliminates the water and steam from this air, and the induced draft fan is installed over here. It eliminates the air and water vapor to the atmosphere. Okay, and the main function nozzle to spray the water on the fin tubes. The fin tube exchanges the heat to the air and water. The air and water both are used in this condenser because when we use the air, the water can spread and the area of the water will be more. Okay, if the mass is less and area be more, the heat exchange is more. So the tubes will cool in fastest way. So heat exchange takes place, and it finally condenses the steam, and it will be out from this side, and when the steam enters, it exchanges heat with the water and air, and finally it condenses into the liquid and exit in this portion. Okay, this is the main function of this evaporator condenser. Okay, this is the up to this chapter, and I told you that I will discuss about some old videos which I share in this YouTube. Okay, let us discuss about the nomenclature of the refrigerant. Suppose one refrigerant is ammonia, CH4. Okay, this is ammonia refrigerant. This is the first of all we have to check that this is the saturated or unsaturated hydrocarbon. This is a hydrocarbon because the carbon and hydrogen present inside the compound, so it will be hydrocarbon. And first of all we check why it is saturated or unsaturated. We all know that carbon having the valency of 4, so we can write a carbon write again. So write C. Okay. Valency 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Valency 4 hydrogen attached for each arm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is for the methane. This is the structure of methane, and we know this is the saturated because more double bond is present over here. So what will be the formula for this refrigerant? First of all, you have to write R for the refrigerant. This is the main symbol. Then how many carbons are there? Number of carbons is 1. So we have to write number of carbon minus 1. What will be the number of carbon minus 1? 0. Okay. Now what will be the number of hydrogen? 4. Number of hydrogen plus 1 will be 5. So our formula is R05, or we can write R5. Next one, we can write a hydrocarbon CF. I will write the number of hydrogen of fluorine according to the valence of carbon. Valence is 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is for the chlorine, Cl. This is Cl. Okay. 4 valence CH. Right over here for this F. This is for Cl, that is chlorine. Okay. What will be the refrigerant formula? First of all, check the number of carbon atoms. This is the 1. Okay. So we have to write 1. Carbon minus 1 will be 0. Okay. Then number of hydrogen 2. So number of hydrogen plus 1 will be 2 plus 1 will be, I have to write over here because you cannot see if I write that. Here, this. So number of carbon will be 0. number carbon 1, this 1 minus 0, 1 minus 1 0. Number of hydrogen is 2, 2 plus 1, 3. Number of fluorine is 1, so it will be 1. So we can write as R031. Okay, this is a refrigerant name. If the compound is unsaturated, what we can write? For unsaturated carbon, we can write that. Suppose let's take an example. 2 carbon molecule, double bond. For the unsaturated, it will be double or triple bond. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Check the valency whether it will be 4. It should not more than or less than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Put 2 hydrogen H and H. Here this is chlorine and this is for fluorine. Okay. What will be the formula? C2H2Cl(F). C2H2Cl(F). Okay. So what will be the formula? Just write the R. Here unsaturated hydrocarbon, which I told you. So double bond is here. For unsaturated hydrocarbon, we have to write 1. First of all, we write 1. Then how many number of carbons are there? Number of carbon is 2. So what will be the formula? Number of carbon minus 1. 2 minus 1 will be 1. Next, check how many number of hydrogen is there. That number of hydrogen is 2. Number of hydrogen plus 1 will be 2 plus 1, 3. Next, how many number of fluorines are there? Number of fluorine is 1. So number of fluorine does not change. So it will be 1. Student, please be careful about the nomenclature of the refrigerant, because this is very important in your exam and for your future. Because in exam the MCQ questions or the other questions, the one question should come in your exam definitely. Okay, so please be careful about the nomenclature of the refrigerant. This is very important for your future and your semester also. Okay, this is the formula for the unsaturated hydrocarbon. If the hydrocarbon is not used, suppose we have to take a compound CO2. This is not hydrocarbon because only carbon is there, no hydrogen inside the compound. So what we can write? First of all, non-hydrocarbon groups, write 700 for the formula 700. Next, we have to check the atomic weight of CO2. First of all, we have to know that the atomic weight of carbon is 12 plus atomic weight of oxygen, this is 16 into 2. What will be the answer? 12 plus 32. This will be 44. This is the atomic weight of the carbon dioxide. So we will just add both 700 plus 44. This is 744. Okay. So what will be the refrigerant name? R744. Okay. This is the formula. This is the way that how we can write the how we can write the refrigerant name in the number. Okay, and the next important topic is the greenhouse effect. Today in the air pollution, this is the main important part this is the main hot topic, hot cake. You can control the hot cake for the environment or for any study, environment studies. What is greenhouse effect? In this polar area or the near polar area, the temperature is very low, around the 5 to 10 or 15 Celsius. The horticulture and agriculture work does not happen in very proper way due to low temperature. So what is the way to increase the temperature? They make a house of glass. Inside the glass, they do their agriculture works. The specialty of the glass house is that the glass, when the sun rays enter through the glass, it direct fall on the plants. The plants use the sun rays for their food and producing these works. When some amount of sun rays get reflected to the outside, the wavelength of the sun rays will be more than the sun rays incident, and the sun rays does not penetrate the glasses. So it will increase the temperature inside the glass room, and the agriculture works will happen more effective way. The same thing is happen inside the earth. When the sun rays incident on the earth surface, it some amount of sun rays reflects back in the space, and some amount of sun rays don't reflect back because the wavelength is more, and this get back due to the gases, the carbon dioxide, hydrogen oxide. This is the steam. Carbon dioxide, the sulfur dioxide, hydrogen dioxide. Those are the greenhouse gases that prevent the reflection to dissipate into space. So the sun rays increase the temperature of the earth, and it causes the global warming, and it is increase the earth temperature. That will very harmful for our animal and human also, that damage the system and some lifestyle of the some creatures, animal. Those are balanced in the environment or the cycle or the everything. It will be very harmful, and we suffer the global warming. You can see what has happened those days. Okay. Also, this is the end of the video. If you have any queries or any doubt or any suggestion, please write down the comment, and please be like our videos, and please subscribe our channel using GSMP, and share this video more and more to your friends and your WhatsApp and Facebook group. Okay. Thank you.